shortly before work, so every chance I'll get hollered at. But I was thinking yesterday. I actually started to do this yesterday because the Joyo or I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm gonna say Joyo. The power supply battery thing came. At this point, I've got three different ways to power them friggin' pedals for one thing. And I knew that going into this because the way and like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I've had a couple of like in the comment conversations with people about this. Like, even okay, even if you've been playing like 10 years, you still don't understand really like old school what the guitar market was. Because I'm 40, I'll be 42 next month. I've been playing since I was 9, and I've been buying my own instruments since I was like 13 or something, maybe a little younger. Actually, yeah, because I haven't owned a TV since I was like 12. I I had to have a friend of mine go with me because you can't pawn stuff as a 12-year-old. But like I snuck it out the house and sold my TV. My parents got all mad and was like they came home and I had a bigger amp and they were like, I mean, I borrowed gear from people and stuff because I was already playing with like older teenagers and not too far. I'd be playing with adults, but they came home and I had a bigger amp and that's all they noticed at first. And then like as they're like, well, that's very loud. They look over and they see like the blank place where my TV used to be, and they're like, huh. So like I've had an ongoing relationship with that pawn shop in Corbin for since I was a kid. Uh, when I first started playing, the used guitar market basically meant pawn shops, and it was depending on where you were at, it was super hit or miss. Like Corbin, we had a really good like community of people that played like Betty Gibson. I want to do a whole video about Gibson's music. I still remember the phone number. That place was like my second space or whatever. And they were really good about a lot of things. That's why we had such a good local music scene. It's because we had a good local music shop. Uh, but aside from actual Gibson's music, because she would finance and everything like that, my family wasn't going to do all that. So I was strictly at the pawn shop. And like sometimes you'd come across something in there, whatever, but like Tri County Pawn and Vacuum, the one I always dealt with, that typically had the best selection of guitar stuff. They were savvy. They did have at least some idea of what they were looking at when they got things. Um, but like my first guitar was like a two pickup Harmony, like no name, just not even really shaped like anything. Uh, like the bridge just had notches in it, like no kind of saddles or anything. Uh, I think that was like $80, and then there was an American made PV Predator right next to it for like I think they were asking 150, but my parents ended up getting it the next year for 125. No one at that time those PV Predators were everywhere. Like Betty Gibson had got those, and just everybody. That was the starter. That was the Strat pack of Corbin. And even that was again, no one knew how good they were, but I think with a little like Rage 158, it was like a little over $300 or whatever. By that point, they wouldn't have been American made though. The one I got from the pawn shop was like I looked it up just out of curiosity, and it's like those are like $800 guitars now. Uh, and probably I'm not never have been a Strat player. I traded that the Predator for one of the T30 or T15. Uh, Suited me better. It was short scale, which is weird. I don't like short scale, but I was learning then. I've had a lot of like really decent guitars over the years. The point is, gear to me is so cheap now. Like that power bank thing, I paid $50 for it. I think I will probably end up giving that to someone. As far as that goes, that's the thing with this channel and whatnot. trying to build a community. I didn't realize that comments are off because I've been uploading everything. I consciously try not to swear so that I can. I thought it would be to a bigger audience if I made it like for children as well. Is how I was thinking of it. Is like as well. Uh, so I gotta go through and fix it. Whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to like build community. I have a stack of the Ernie Ball string codes that I'm never gonna use. Like somebody needs to use them things. I always save the, the pack that has the thing on it, but I never and I never intended to redeem them. I was like, oh, my little cousin's young. He's probably savvy enough to do that. I just give him strings from time to time. I actually was gonna hit up I think Rye. I'm guessing, uh, but the chick that's building the pedal board, I think in the UK, uh, I was gonna hit her up honestly and be like, "Yo, you want this thing?" Uh, for a few reasons. Like I said, I've got like three different ways of doing it right now, and technically, and I'll get the specific measurements, but this either would have to be top mounted on mine, or like it would fit underneath, but it would be so close if you were ever on any kind of like uneven anything, you might be right on your battery. And I found another one for like $40 that's 10 outlet that's a lot thinner. So it seems like it is more intended to go underneath. And it's got a robot on it. It's a Lakato is the brand for it. But no, I knew going, and that was the whole point. I am so distractible. That was the whole point of this was that I knew going into this I was going to end up with like a lot of redundancies and a lot of things like that. And like I'm just that way that like if something's useful, I like to have two of them. I always like to have backups or an available workaround for if this fails, that kind of thing. I always like. I'm not against having redundancies, but there's certain things that's gonna get ridiculous, uh, such as this power supply thing. I'm still using the one spot daisy chain that I've been using for forever, and that's out of sheer laziness. I don't like the actual bank that should have come with the board. They did send. I just haven't bothered replacing it. It's six screws. It's more of a hassle to undo all my power supplies and reroute that than it is uh, actually replacing the power bank. And again, like I now that I know how cheap you can get the actual like it's a battery too. Um, I will probably never use it. Actually, the power bank for the that actually is for the board is super like low profile, small. Um, the way it's built into a back, and they sent the whole back rail. I thought they would just send the bank, which it's a little. I got the old one off because I wasn't supposed to do that, but they sent the whole rail, and you just replace the back rail. I can get it off. Um, that will probably be up for grabs at some point. Just like that, I almost certainly cannot see using. But for somebody else, it's not a battery, but it is, I think, 9 outlet isolated power. Like that's not bad. Even if you had to like stick it to the side of your board with Velcro, it beats the other options. I think I don't know. Like I said, I'm fairly happy with my little daisy chain. I've got one thing that I have to run on 9 volts. Thankfully, you can. There's so much you just can't anymore. Uh, that's a thing. The cable, the DC cables or whatever for the power supplies. The ones that came with the board are they're bulky. They don't bend and this and that like you like. The ones that came with the Joyo, I do like better. Still, I wish they would just be right angle to right angle. That's a little annoying. Uh, but since I have extra, the ones that came with the board, I'm thinking at least a few of them in theory, and like I'll make sure the comments are on this one. Someone that knows better, tell me. But shouldn't I be able to get like basically like the battery pad from a toy, like the little 9 volt stick thing, and wire that to one of those? And as long as I make sure to wire it to where it's center neg, I can make it to where it's a 9 volt battery that plugs in. If you see what I'm like, I've done sketchier stuff for sure, for sure. Again, gear is cheap. I'll get a cheap little distortion pedal and find out, because that's a thing. I legit like, again, redundancies, backups for my backups and workarounds. When I realized a lot of the stuff I have does not, like, you can't 9 volt it. You have to have a power supply, and that's kind of annoying. Because the first time I've only went to jam with anybody once since I've had gear again, and when I did, I was able to use my most unusable fuzz pedal because it's the only thing that takes a battery, and it was too much of a hassle. Like, I had my stuff with me, but they were like already jamming. It was getting late. I wasn't gonna get to like really play for super long anyway. Didn't want to take time setting up and figuring stuff. So I was just like, screw it. Here, got one, and I even said I was like, I'm doing that as much to extend my cable as anything because the amp that I was in sold like a 410 tweet. It didn't sound. But anyway, I'd like to just have my stuff. As far as that goes, the board I ordered is bigger than I realized, but like I don't even have much. I've got 6 things on it. They're not really arranged well as far as that goes. Again, gear is cheap, affordable. I'm probably gonna get a single row board and do like an affordable, a bunch of little mini pedals, and that be my travel board. And even like I'm making a travel board. That's like literally I was saying that at work last night. Like I know exactly how blessed I am. Like I moved out of a halfway house. What's the date? Like I literally I think this week last year. I'm pretty sure I have the receipt. If not, I threw it away when I got my laptop because I cleaned my room and was like I wanted to clean out a closet and it was because it's crazy. Like you guys see, I know I've got other videos where you kind of look around my room. The whole like when I moved in, it was a mattress in the corner, and I had 2 bags of clothes because I wouldn't even really get much at the halfway house. Like if I had, like I've got really small feet, but if I had a more common shoe size, I would be careful what shoes I would bring there. And then like when I first moved out, when I moved in here, it took a while for me to even start like nest. I joke about like I'm nesting or whatever. I am. I haven't had my own space really since I was about 15. That's the thing. Like I talked about like with my therapist and whatnot. I've never sat and laid out end to end like I'll be like, okay, I'm recovering and reacting to and just coming around from that breakup with Rain. That was in 2023, but that was a nasty one, whatever. But like right now, I've just landed on my feet from that, and then but it's a weird domino where I'm like, yeah, but when that began, I was just getting stability from, and if I keep pulling that thread, it goes back to every bit of like me being 15. Like the first time I got kicked out of high school, I've basically been homeless ever since on a real level. Like by a social worker standard, yeah. Because like I never really came home after that. The dynamic was so different that I was not there that like I maintained a room there, kind of. Come to think, like I lived in the camper. I forgot all about that. Like I would just mostly stay in the camper by that point. And there's a lot that I think about. Like again, this channel is going to be about a lot. Right now, this is about I'm just over the moon with how affordable gear is, and that I get to do things like put together a travel board. Um, had, what had me kind of laughing to myself, like I'm reaching a point where it's like, pretty sure maybe by the end of summer, I may be looking for commercial space to rent. Because with all the redundancies and this and that I'm getting in the gear, and for one, I want to use it and be loud and like just the logistics of having it set up and ready to go and not having to put things like but actually have it just set. Uh, that probably means I need the space, and also like once I have it set up and learn to use it well and da da da, I would love to like help anybody that's trying to record some music get their thing out there. Like Ed Piskor always quoted, I think it was Jay Z, but somebody, where he had done Hip Hop Family Tree, he quoted a lot of hip hop. It might be Nas, which it feels like it is. Uh, the real ones would be doing it without a record deal. That's I'm here like all rig no gig. I saw that in the comment section and was like, that's yeah. Like I legitimately am thinking about putting together a stereo friggin' rig. Just how outlandish can I get and still be able to play at 2 a.m.? Because most of the stuff you guys hear, if it's not daylight in that window, it is 2 a.m. at least. And I rarely use headphones, which I did. That's a thing I learned. I think because there's in one of the videos the sound isn't bad, but it has this weird like shorty in and out part. I think I've shaken the inputs on that amp, playing it loud more than it was really ever intended to. I hear they're not like a lot of people have a lot of hate for Black Star. I've had like four of those ID cores and I love them. They just came out with the new like it's because like they were the ID core 1020 da da da. Now it's like a ID something else. They changed the name slightly, but the format looks identical to this. It's just a little more streamlined. I think they may have finally put Bluetooth in. Lord, that was a weird hill to die on. But yeah, like I'm thinking about like I'm probably going to end up, and that's part of the reason I'm like commercial space probably going to be a thing. I won't even lie. I got curious and looked online and saw a Red Knob Fender Twin for like $300. I was like, a 212. Like y'all, that's that's an amp you can play shows with. That was like a $700 amp used when I was young. Uh, and that's what I'm saying. It's got so weird. Like back in the day, at Tri County Pawn and Vacuum that I dealt with, you could always get a PV Rage 158 for $100. depending on condition, maybe anywhere from like 80 to 115 if it was one like if you could look at it and tell somebody just bought that thing from Gibson and their parent put the kibosh or they gave up or whatever, but it might still have a sticker on it. 115. The older models with the blue and silver that looks like the Josh Homme joints, a little mud on it. You can tell it has been out in some garages and whatnot. $80 all day. Uh, for barely any more, I get these ID cores delivered to my door, brand new. They're modelers. They've got 6 different channels. They got a straight line out to record with. Like I said when I bought the V1, because I've had one of every version but the V3, I think. Uh, when I bought the first one, I was like, this thing probably does, like, out of everything it does, I will use 10% of it. Like, it being an actual sound make, like, moving air is, like, almost an afterthought with these things, I think. Especially the little one, because I got, like, the little bedroom amp. I think that's mostly just to hook up to, I think most people using that are probably using it as an interface. And that's why I think me using it like an actual amp, because I know the input is loose. Uh, I wouldn't be shocked to find out that the USB is also rattled some, and that's what caused that one track to sound shorted. And if that's the case, you because that's what got this rant started. I'd used the headphones for the first time the other day while recording, just to kind of, and I mean not even to monitor, but just to see how it would come out. And I don't know. It seems like, which I also had the actual level on the amp up. It seemed to give a better quality recording. Uh, so yeah, that's a thing. Also, it's basically trying to do, well, on that one. It wasn't even really so much that I was trying to do a workaround. I just was not sure with what I'm doing. Do I even really need an audio interface? Because especially like the way it's at the time. Well, I still have the Pocket Master. I'm gonna send that to my buddy Alan though, which I'm gonna end up ordering, if not another one, like the Matra box or something. Getting something. That's a whole other thing. I'm going to have like a crazy multi effects floor unit modular thing because they're only like $300. That I mean, yeah, that's a purchase I gotta like make a little decision about it, but still, like I know I'm gonna end up with one. I'm just not sure whether I want the. I've been talking to Budget Pedal Chat about this. There's the More just came out, but there's the and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm basically at this point loyal to Sonic 8. They've got the Matrobox 2, which that's the thing me and Budget Pedal Chat talked about. The price point's quite a bit different. They seem to do a lot of the same stuff, and that's what makes it such an interesting question. Because the more GE50 or whatever just came out. Uh, the Sonic 8 Major Box has been out a little while. Um, I think it does a little more. I think you have a little more switching options and whatnot. But also, from what Budget Pedal Chap has said, uh, seems like it's probably like you'll hear what the difference in price, and it's significant because like the one I think is only about $120. The more, and then the Major Rock's close to like three. So that's significant. And but at a glance, it's like they're very similar units in terms of at a glance function. But I don't know about specs. Like when they start talking about like not even just latency, but like bit rates and the newest DSP and algorithms, I'm out. I do know that it sounds better than, excuse my language, I still, whether it's for kids or not, I really am trying to work on my, for a few years now, I've been trying to work on my language. Uh, but what Glenn Fricker refers to as fried assholes. Uh, as soon as he said it, I was like, have I used that phrase back in the day? Like, in that exact context of overcompressed digital guitar sound? Because it is perfect. It is the perfect phrase for it. Uh, my buddy Alan, I'm gonna send that Pocket Master to. When I first got it, I kind of chuckled because I was like, it's hard to tell because like my amp is tiny and it uses those tiny little speakers, so like low end is always kind of a thing. I'm like, is it in my head? Is it like, or is it just me, or is that kind of ice picky? Uh, a lot of these were very nasally, overcompressed, very digital, and I was like, oh, Alan would love this thing. Like that's basically his sound. Not, not to knock him, but like that's, and dude, there's people making videos. Like I just saw a guy talking about like, so supposedly these Zoom 808s are the sound of, and it's like, I guess they kind of were because they made it easier to record, and that's where I'm at. Like that's, it's always a thing. Recording specifically high gain guitar and getting it to sound anything like in the room without some part of it becoming unusable. Whether it's the highs are ice picky or the lows just are farting out, like getting the whole sound. And it is, that's why the video where I'm playing along to War Pigs, like I think that sounds like tone wise. Like I'm not even attempting to actually play. I'm just trying to like see if the levels match at all. Da da da. As far as that goes, you see me lean in trying to adjust sliders on OBS. Like I don't think it even. It didn't seem like in real time it affected that track. I couldn't tell. But I've ranted long enough. I'm legitimately shocked I haven't been interrupted. We'll end this here. Rye Miles, I'll I'll tag you or something. I'll be in touch about Ernie Ball string codes if you want those.